everyone. I am so excited that you are here. Tonight we are doing some DIY Christmas cards using the Cottage Wreath stamp set. And what's really cool tonight is I'm actually going to show you two cards. We're going to make a super simple stamping card, and then we're going to take kind of the same design and we're going to step it up and make it a little bit fancier. So really excited to do that tonight. If you are here and joining me live, go ahead, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're watching live. Got some weird hairs, sorry. Let me know you're watching live. Yeah, let me know what you're up to this weekend, where you're watching from, what are you up to this weekend, all that kind of good stuff. So, and if you are watching the replay, a special welcome to you as well. I'm so glad that you caught the replay later. I know that this time doesn't work for everyone, and so I love that you're able to watch it later. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button and come back and join me again if you're on YouTube, or make sure that you're following my page if you're over on Facebook. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I provide wannabe crafters, wannabe artists just like you with lots of tips, tricks, and inspiration to create beautiful handmade cards and gifts using rubber stamps, ink, and paper. So that's what we're going to start with. We are going to start with a card that uses just stamps, ink, and paper. Super, super simple. So let's take a look at the supplies that I am using tonight. Here is the Cottage Wreaths stamp set. Really cute stamp set. It is on page 39 of the annual catalog. So this is not a mini catalog set. This is in the annual catalog. It's actually kind of a set that's good for all sorts of different holidays in the fall. You know, there's a boo and a spider. You can do like Halloween type stuff, but Halloween's over now. There's, leaves and all sorts of stuff, little acorns. So you could do fall cards. You could definitely make the leaves bright green. You could do spring cards with this. It's really a set for all seasons, but we are going to work on some Christmas cards because that's the season we're in, right? Hello, Vicky in Arizona, and Heather in Kansas. It's chilly in Kansas. Ooh. All right, so that's the stamp set we're using. It does have coordinating dies. Now the stamp set and dies came out before Stampin' Up started naming their stamp set and coordinating dies with the same name. So the dies are actually called Country Wreaths. The stamp set is Cottage Wreaths. Along with that, I am using the Joy of Christmas designer series paper, and I love this paper. It is so, so pretty. It has beautiful Christmas patterns to it. Plus you have the just the checked, the gingham green and red, and then your different hollies and just some leaves and some really pretty poinsettias and stuff in there too. And then of course on the back, let me flip this over, you just have some very basic designs, some wood grains and some music note paper, just some real basic stuff. So really great pattern paper that's going to be good for all of your Christmas cards. All right, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to get started. So I said this card is just using stamps, ink, and paper. I have a piece of shaded spruce. This is 4¼ by 11 inches, and I went ahead and scored it at 5½. So I can just fold this in half and create my card base. So it looks like I did not score it very straight, but that's okay. We can make it go. There we go. And then I have a piece of some of that designer series paper, the Joy of Christmas designer series paper. This is 2½ by 5�3/8. So it's going to fit just like that in there. Okay. Then we have some basic white. This is 2¾ by 3½, and some real red that is 2�7/8 by 3�5/8. All right, so let's do some stamping. I'm going to set our cardstock aside. I'm going to grab the wreath stamp, the kind of leafy wreath stamp, because there's two different wreath stamps in this stamp set. One is a leafy wreath stamp. That is really hard to say. Can I just say the word wreath is hard to say? One is a leafy wreath stamp. This is just going to get ridiculous. And the other one is like a twig leaf stamp or wreath stamp. So I'm going to stamp my leafy wreath. with some shaded spruce. And this is one of these distinctive stamps. So it makes two different shades, even though you're just using the same ink. Really pretty. And then I'm going to grab my real red ink pad. And I'm going to start by stamping a bow on my wreath. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that at the bottom. And I'm going to add some berries to my wreath too, also in real red. All right, so there's our wreath. Now I do want to grab my shaded spruce, and we're going to use it one more time. We're going to stamp the sentiment on here. So the Merry Christmas in this stamp set is very, very tiny, which is nice. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to just stamp it right here in the lower right corner. All right, super simple. And now all we have to do is use a little bit of adhesive, which has disappeared on me. Hold on. Use just a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to use my green glue and we're just going to put this together. And that's how quick and easy this card is, because this card is just stamps, ink, and paper. It's not bulky. It doesn't have a lot of layers. It's a really simple card. So if you're looking to make a lot of Christmas cards, this would be a good way to just make a bunch of them. So there's that. We'll put some adhesive over here. The sentiment is so cute. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Julie. I'm just going to slide this in here. And I'm not even going to use dimensionals on this card, which is just unheard of, but you could totally put dimensionals on this piece right here. But I really wanted to make something that didn't have any bulk to it. So there we go. Super simple stamps, ink, and paper, simple card. All right. We're going to take this same design now though, and we're going to make something a little bit fancier, because I know you guys, y'all like to make a little bit fancy cards too. So we'll set this aside and let's grab some more supplies. Now you're going to see I have a lot more pieces of paper for this one, because this card has a lot more layers. So I just have some white that I'm going to use to stamp on. I have a piece of that designer series paper in the red plaid. This is still that 2 3/4 by 3.5. So this is the exact same size as this white piece that's right here. All right, so just to show you, we're using the same basic pattern. That's the same size. And this is the same size red, and that's going to go right together. But then we're going to add some green under there too. Okay, and instead of just putting our piece of designer series paper right on the card front, I have another piece of the designer series paper. Now this is still just shaded spruce, but it has just a little bit of like a texture to it. So I'm going to use this. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. This is going to go on our card front. And then of course we'll add that other piece on there. So it's going to look very similar, just a little bit different. Let's go ahead and do some stamping. I have a piece of white. I'm going to use the same stamp and I am going to stamp it again. And I just got ink on my finger. We'll just smush that on my paper a little bit so I don't get ink everywhere. Actually, you know what? I just made a mess on my desk. I have some hand sanitizer, and that's going to take off some of that ink for me. So now I don't have it, but I squirted hand sanitizer all over my bonus cards. So when you see my bonus cards and one has a big blop on it, it's because I got hand sanitizer on it. Oh, all right. We're inking this up with the shaded spruce again. And I'm just going to stamp it on this basic white. Beautiful wreath again. Carol, you love this paper. Me too. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to grab some real red. And I'm going to stamp that bow again. I'm just going to stamp it down here. Throwing things around on my paper, on my desk right now. And then we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. So I have my die cut base, the number 1 and the number 2. And then I have my number 3 cutting plate. I'm going to put my white paper on there. And I'm going to grab the set of dies. There are 22 dies in this die set. So it's a pretty big die set. And you can see there's a couple dies that are going to cut out just some wreaths on their own. And some of the samples one of the samples I'm going to show you uses those pieces. I'm going to use the piece that's going to cut out this one. Now, had I been paying attention, what's really cool about this stamp set and dies is that there is this little, let me hold this up so you can see it. There's a little arrow on there, okay? Oops, can you focus on the arrow? There we go. There's a little arrow notch on there. And if you look at the stamp set, let me see if I can. When the stamp set is in the case, you can see that that stamp has an arrow on it as well. Okay, and that arrow lines up with the arrow on the dies. So what I actually did, and I just didn't pay attention to it, is that on my stamp, I took, you can kind of see, I took a Sharpie and I marked where that arrow was. So if I was paying attention to where I had stamped that on my piece of paper, I would very easily be able to line up this die. But I kind of forgot that that existed. So we're just going to go to the tried and true method of spinning and spinning until we get it to work, looking for, oh, there we go, looking for bits and pieces that look a little bit different. It's kind of like doing a puzzle, even though I do not like puzzles. Do you guys like puzzles? I know puzzles seem to be kind of a big thing. I will be honest, I am not a puzzle person. I'm 100% not a puzzle person. Just looking for some washi so I can tape this down. Hello, Carol in Connecticut. All right. So getting that all lined up, I'll go ahead and tape it down with a little bit of washi. I'm going to grab my dies too, and we're going to grab the die to cut out the bow. Carol, you love puzzles? I know lots of people love puzzles. I don't know what it is. It's just, you know, not my jam. I think it's just not active enough for me. I don't know. I get frustrated. All right, lining that up on there. I'm going to put a little bit of washi on there, and then we're going to go ahead and cut these out. So I'm just going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. Hello, Debbie Ann in Australia. Nice. All right. So I ran that through my die cut machine, and we can see what we get. This is going to die cut this wreath just beautifully. Carefully peel off my washi tape. And there's our wreath. Isn't that pretty? And then we'll do the same thing with this little bow. And there's our bow. So we can use these. All right. That is actually all the die cutting we're going to do. I didn't, you know, I said that this is really stepped up, but it's actually still a very easy card to make. So this Carol from St. Joseph, Michigan, you don't like puzzles. Me either. All right. I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right. I do want to stamp the sentiment as well. So I'm going to grab a little strip of some white cardstock because I keep, you know how when you cut the insides for your card, you end up with little strips of extra. I keep all those in a bin on my desk, and then I just grab them when I need them. So I'm going to take one of these strips. I'm going to use my shaded spruce again, and I'm just going to stamp this little tiny Merry Christmas, just like that. I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit. Cut this side. There we go. I feel like I want to cut the top and the bottom just a little bit too. So I'm just eyeballing this. Hopefully it's straight-ish. There we go. So now I have the sentiment and we can start putting this card together. Like I said, there's more layers, so we're gonna have a little bit more gluing on this one. I'm gonna start by gluing my plaid red to the other red. Now don't go anywhere because I do have additional sample cards to share with you as well. Lots of inspiration for you using this set. So as I'm gluing this, I want to tell you about something that I have coming up. I'm going to be announcing this on Saturday. Actually, a couple things. I don't know if both of them will make it in Saturday. You guys might be getting a little super sneak peek. But for Christmas, because of the December card class date, normally we do the monthly card classes on the last Tuesday of the month. But for December, that ends up being like what, the day after Christmas. So we are not doing a December online card class because that just seems silly. But I thought some of you might be like me, where you have extra time, where you have extra time on your hands during the Christmas holidays. Okay, I really scored this one wrong too. Or maybe you are getting together with friends or family, or maybe, I don't know, grandkids, kids, people who want to craft, or you're looking for an activity to do. That's easy, right? So what I'm going to do is I am creating a card class to go. It is going to use a very basic set that is mostly sentiments from the annual catalog. And of course, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's going to use that. And it is going to be a very low supply. Shall we say that? Like, to do this card class, to do this online card class, all you will need is the stamp set and a couple ink pads and some adhesive and, you know, maybe a paper trimmer, right? Like, everything else will be in the kit. You won't need punches. You won't need die cuts. I'm keeping it really, really simple. So, but hopefully still, you know, beautiful cards that you can make. And, you know, something that you could do with people, you know, if you craft a lot, you'll still have fun with it. You'll still like it. But if you maybe are hanging out with somebody who is, you know, newer to stamping or has never done it before, or, you know, kids or whatever, there's not a lot of, it should be pretty easy for them too. So that is my goal. And that will be announced on Saturday. So watch for that in my weekly newsletter. I am just putting some dimensionals on the back of my little wreath. And this is going to go right here in the center. Just like that. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of my bow. And that's going to go on the wreath too. So Carol, you almost got this one, but you got Marius Trees instead. Marius Trees is cute too. The other thing that I am either going to be announcing this week, or I might put it in next week. You guys just get a sneak preview though, is I'm going to be offering adhesive kits. So they're going to be little bags, like little pencil bags, little totes, right? Filled with a bunch of different types of adhesive. They're going to be great either for you to share with people who might want to buy you a gift, or for you to buy for somebody else as kind of for one of your crafty friends, right? So, oh shoot. Did I put that on flat? Nope. All right. Well, on my sample, you're going to see my other sample. I put this on dimensionals. This one, I'm just going to put it on there flat. So there's the basic card. We're going to pop this up just a little bit. That's okay, Flip, that you are late. You can always watch the replay and catch the whole thing. All right. So I have the festive pearls, and I'm going to use the little red ones. These are actually, I think, supposed to be sweet sorbet, but they're red, and they will work just fine. So I'm just going to pop these on my wreath as a little bit of bling. don't know, how many do I want? Let's put one more right there. Ooh, I feel like there. Is that enough? Does it need, I feel like the other side needs one more. I'm telling you, these embellishments could go on forever. There we go. I'm out of that strip, so I'm pretty sure I have more red ones in the bottom here. Yeah, I do. I have more red ones, but we're going to leave them in there. So thank you so much, Lisa. Oh, and Carol, I'm so glad you guys like this. So this is this stepped up version of this card. Super fun, easy. And you can see they're basically, the same layout, right? They have the same elements, the same basic dimensions and everything, but one is very simple, stamp, ink, and paper. And then the other is a lot more stepped up with more layers and some die cutting and things on there. So either way you want to do it, it's going to make a great Christmas card for you. Let me show you my other couple of examples that I have. Now, if you were here on Tuesday, you saw this one already. This is the Fun Fold card that I shared on Tuesday using this wreath stamp set. If you missed Tuesday, make sure you go back and catch that replay because I showed you exactly how to make this little Fun Fold card, which is super, super cute. But that's the one I made with the wreaths. And then here's a couple bonus ones. Oh, good. My hand sanitizer dried and it looks fine. So here is one. This one I added in some of the Joyful specialty paper and die cut, or I punched out the ovals with the double oval punch, added lots of little gold bling, and I just kind of made some bows with a ribbon on it down there. So just kind of something different. No wreath on this one. I was like, I want to make a card that doesn't have a wreath on it. That's always me. I always want to, the stamp sets that look very much, this is a wreath stamp set. I'm always like, well, can we make a card that doesn't do that? So here's what I came up with. This one just has that bow on it, or the bows on it with the bow still in the middle. And then I decided to make one that wasn't a Christmas card, but still using the Joy of Christmas designer series paper. So this one is just, I think of it as like a little welcome card. We have the door, which I made with that Joy of Christmas paper. There's this great wood grain pattern in there. I die cut those wreaths with the dies, also from the designer series paper. So we get two different colors. One is like a leafy print and the other one's that green print. And then I added the plaid in the background. And then it just says hello inside. So just a really simple card, not Christmas. It could be Christmas. You could definitely turn this into a Christmas card. But I just decided to do something a little bit different, making a little door. And I used one of the brushed metallic dots to create the door handle, which I think is so cute. You use the little bow so much. It really is a great size little bow. You are correct. All right. So those are my bonus sample cards for you tonight. I hope that you enjoyed making these two cards, the simple and the stepped up card, and this Cottage Wreaths stamp set. Hopefully it is inspiring to you, helps you get some ideas, get going on your own Christmas cards, or whatever cards that you are sending out, because this wreath, like I said, it does not have to be Christmas. It can work for all different occasions too. I will be back next Tuesday night. Next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. is going to be mystery stamping. So I hope you all join me then. Watch for the list of supplies in the Facebook group on Monday afternoon. And then come join me next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. to do a little mystery stamping. I'll see you there. Have a great weekend.